Good evening, everyone. It is 6:30, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is the City Council and meeting and public hearing for April 15th, 2024. We'll note for the record that all members of council are present and accounted for. And as always, we begin our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you're willing and able, please stand and join us. First item up on our agenda this evening is the presentations and proclamations. We have a proclamation this evening for the Innovation Academy fencing team. So Coach Dongus and the team, if you'll stand in the front here with me, I'll present you with the proclamation. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Great. Coach, I'm going to give you the microphone and let you tell us a little bit about your program and your achievements this year. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. Mayor Gilvin and the council, thank you very much for this honor tonight. It's special. It's a special day that you would recognize the fencing team, the fencing program, and Innovation Academy. It's quite an honor. Here we have my men's and women's team. We competed in the Georgia High School Fencing League, and my women came in first place, my men came in third, and it was just a tremendous year for us. It's been our third year now that we've been fencing, and of course, we started out 3 years ago with only freshmen and sophomores, so we finally have gotten to seniors. So I have some that are graduating this year. So on the women's team, my senior and captain, Becca Hahn. I have 3 juniors, Emma Chang, Catherine Rafferty, and Anna Donges, who is also my granddaughter. On the other side, holding the trophy, Oliver Nickerson, followed by Eric Zhang and Yuchan Feng. And I'm missing one of my other guys, but that's good. I believe we're the largest fencing team in Alpharetta, in case you didn't know that.
I would.
We are also unofficially the largest fencing team in the United States. We have just about 90 kids on the team, about 35 women, 50 men, and we represent Innovation Academy, which I know he was trying to make it tonight, but the principal, Scott Kent, is a tremendous leader and a very, very supportive of the fencing program at Innovation Academy. Also tonight, Selena Holmes is here. She's our faculty representative, so thank you very much, Selena. Appreciate that. And it's just great to be in Alpharetta.
Now, I know all the photo bugs are back there losing their minds because all they can see is your back. So now that you've spoken to council, if you don't mind, let's turn around so all the moms and parents and everybody else can see who our champions are. I will, but I'm going to read the proclamation before we do the full group picture. So this is a proclamation by the mayor and council of the city of Alpharetta, Georgia, Innovation Academy Fencing Club. Whereas, under the leadership of head coach Bill Dongus and assistant coach Tyler McCubbins, the club season has been incredibly successful. The Innovation Academy Fencing Women's Club placed first in the state championship, and men's club placed third in the state championship. Whereas Coach Dongus and Coach McCubbins have worked diligently to build a successful fencing program and have worked together for quite some time. Coach McCubbins competed as a student with Coach Dongus when was the fencing coach at North Springs High School. Together they encouraged their fencers and focus on strengthening their leadership skills, all while practicing their footwork, coordination, timing, and balance to become stronger fencers. And whereas the following students served as team captains for the 2023-2024 Innovation Academy Fencing Club: Anna Dongus, Rebecca Hone, Catherine Rafferty, Emma Ching, Eric Zhang, Oliver Nickerson, Goleb Sarsour, Yukin Fan. And whereas the Innovation Academy Fencing Club competed in several tournaments this season against local competitors, the club won 4 tournaments and were first place in the league standings. And whereas during tournaments there are 4 performance awards: Knight, Wizard, Excalibur, and Oracle the Silver Bunny. The Knight Award is given if a fencer wins his or her direct elimination. The Wizard Award is given if a fencer finishes in the top 16. And the Excalibur Award is given if a fencer places 3rd or higher. Recipients of these awards receive a sentimental ring. The rings are handmade by the coach and are a beautiful combination of silver and colored metals. Fencing club members received several of these performance awards throughout the season, and whereas the highest leadership award is called the Oracle of the Silver Bunny, I want to hear that story sometime, and is presented to those who represent responsibly, respect, honesty, integrity, and sportsmanship. Only 2 were awarded this year to student fencers: Naisha Padala and William Tran. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and the city council of the city of Alpharetta, Georgia, do hereby recognize the 2023-2024 Innovation Academy Fencing Club, along with their coaches, parents, administration, and staff, for their determination and dedication this season, and congratulate them on their achievements. So proclaimed this 15th day of April, 2024, by the mayor and city council of the city of Alpharetta, Georgia. Now, would y'all like to come down? You're the club sponsor, come on. Don't be shy. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, sir.
So the next item up on our agenda is the work session items. Work session item consists of Union Hill Park design and parking proposal. Director Rogers, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. As always, it's a pleasure to be here. I think this is the first time, though, on the agenda that I have the first item and the last item, so it'll be a good meeting to be a bookend. We're here tonight to workshop the idea, an idea at Union Hill Park. If you remember, Union Hill Park was built in 1995 as a hockey park. It had a covered arena and an outdoor arena, and then roller hockey fell off early 2000, and so it was not being used for much, really, an occasional skater. And then in 2021, we got a bond referendum item, and we're gonna renovate that park. And if you look at your diagram that's on your screen, you'll see this is the diagram that we're currently working on. We have completed the number one, that's the renovation of the pavilion, that's been completed. And if you look at the other major areas, are the parking lot is going to get an upgrade. Then the area in the middle, which you got 9, 8, and 10, was a small playground idea, and then the skate park was going to be out on number 12. When we renovated the pavilion, we've met with a lot of good success. We have a concert series out there by Home by Dark that are selling out the limit of 250 seats right now, because that's all the parking that we have capacity for. As well as this year, we hosted the Shamrockin' for a Cure to a sellout crowd. We have Grill Fest coming this weekend from Atlanta Magazine, as well as I Can Bike and Camp Momentum coming this summer. So one of the things we were looking at is that if we continue down this plan, we know we're going to fall short with the dollars that are in the current bond. So we're going to have to value engineer this particular plan no matter what. So we were thinking about the possibility, since we needed more parking, that the idea of removing the small playground gathering area and putting in another parking lot. So I just wanted to show you that that's a concept possible that we could do. If we went this route, the current Greenway connection would stay the same, and we would redo the parking lot and this new parking lot. One of the big things about this particular plan is that then would put our budget under for the money that we have right now. This would open up an additional 48 parking spaces that basically would give us another 100 people that could come to an event. So we are working to shop this to see what the idea, Mayor and Council, not the idea, the direction Mayor and Council wants to go, to continue down the other one or to look at this plan. Be glad to answer any questions you may have about this.
Any questions for Director? Councilman Will.
So can you just, for the record, what was going to go in here before we decided, or you brought this idea forward to turn it into a parking lot?
So if you look at this plan, it's got number 8 is play equipment, swings. Number 9 is a future art installation. It's just a spot. We weren't going to put it in on this round. And then play space with slides in an embankment, and then another set of swings. So it's really just swing, slide, and a play area for kids to kind of run around in.
So my question is going to be a little multifaceted then. So at some point we decided that we needed slides and swings and all this, and now we think we need parking spaces instead. Has the potential use of this changed that drastically since it was initially drawn up, or are we just trying to stay within the budget?
The easiest way to answer that is to say both. Number one is that there was not, when we planned this area, there wasn't like a outpouring from the community that we needed space. So we had the space. We were thinking it was going to be a gathering space, a place for folks to just kind of play around. And we didn't realize that the pavilion was going to be so successful and need more parking. And then when you factor in the budget, we just felt like we would need to bring it to you. Because then what this park then would become is basically a trailhead for our greenway, the northern trailhead for our greenway, and an event facility.
So basically turn into a pretty cool event facility. That's what it would be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Councilman Hypes.
Director Rogers, can you comment on the progress we've made as a city in branding Alpharetta as Alpharetta Music City and bringing music to the city? And I'm going to have some follow-ups. But in the context of what's being put forward here, can you talk about a little broader picture of how we're doing with branding Alpharetta Music City?
Certainly, a few years ago we decided that music was important to the city of Alpharetta to keep it one of the cool places around, and so we intentionally decided to call it Alpharetta Music City, and then we went about the process of bringing music to the city through things like Music Match and encouraging Home by Dark to have more concerts. So I think we have, we actually have our latest version of the Alpharetta Music City T-shirt that has the tour on the back that shows our 9 locations. We now have 9 locations that have scheduled music at them, so they're an official music venue. So I think we've done well with doing making Alpharetta a music city. So this would just again just add the ability for those concerts to be a little bit bigger, or have more. I shouldn't say bigger, just have more attendees.
Now, I've been out there multiple times. I've been to Home by Dark out there. I'm biased. I think it's an amazing music facility, and I think people are taken off guard. They don't know what to expect until they're there, and then they're like, wow, this is pretty neat. But under the present parking configuration, like Home by Dark can only get about 250 people underneath. But under the shelter, there's room for many, many, many more people, correct?
Correct, yeah.
And
they're currently on an average Home by Dark concert, they're at about 50% capacity of the facility.
so if we can get the parking up to 500, then that enables the facility to be used by more people for a broader range of acts, and such as Shamrocking for a Cure, correct?
Correct.
And do we have anything else in Alpharetta that approximates, this all-weather shelter for outdoor concerts, rain or shine?
No, we do not. I mean, Ameris Bank is, of course, we're not competing with Ameris Bank, but they certainly have that covered venue. The other music venues that we have are indoor and smaller. So this is the other one. The closest thing that we have would be Brook Street, but we're a victim of the weather quite often with that.
And in terms of highest and best use of Union Hill Park, are there other nearby playgrounds? Because this is toward the one side of the city out there by McGinnis Ferry, but are there other playgrounds nearby?
There is within about a mile and a half of this particular site is the Windward Community Park that we just opened about 2 years ago that has a large playground and parking and a large play area for the children. And the residents that are right across the street in both of the apartment complexes, they both have playgrounds available to the children on site.
Is this a parks bond build-out?
Yes, it is.
And if we, because of rising costs, if it gets built out and we check up short, are we going to have to find funds from someplace else?
If to build
playground.
what's on the screen, we would have to find additional money to build what's on the screen or value engineer it one way or the other.
Okay.
But with the parking scenario does not, I mean, we are estimating that we would come under budget with the parking
Okay. Thank you.
design.
Any other? Councilman Dorito?
Thank you, Mayor. I wasn't here when the council put this on the bond referendum. I obviously voted and supported it, but just a question, and this might be more for our council. Since this is a park bond, does changing the so-called use of this facility cause any issues with the way the bond was sold on the ballot?
I would need to review the specifics of what was on the bond referendum to see how specific it was.
Okay, I just throw that question out there, something we probably need to kind of understand a little bit more. Morgan, and I'm assuming the skate park, which is number 12 on the diagram, does that still remain?
Yes, it would still remain. And if I may add, Councilman Dorito, that was when we were having the meetings with the public, that was the number one thing that was requested was the skate park.
Yeah, I always, just my personal opinion, I always wondered how well kind of a park depicted in 8 and 10 there would do in this location, because it's kind of already alluded to. It's kind of a unique location of the city, and for the use of the you know, home by dark concerts and things, which seem to be more and more successful. It seems like a better use for the facility from my perspective. I don't see, it's almost two conflicting uses. I don't know if that park would get much utilization with the success of the home by dark concerts. And just a comment, and then the other question I have is kind of to follow up with Councilman Hype's point on the parking, the needed parking increases. I think you said that would provide 48 additional spaces.
Yes, sir.
So are we needing 500, and would we in the future be looking to expand parking in that area?
Well, we were able to secure an agreement with the company right next door, ZK Tech, which opened up about, and again, without looking at my notes, about another 100 spaces there. So with that, with the additional parking we hear, we'd just be about at the maximum. And it's never our intent for there to be an event where more than 500 people would be there at one time. Now, a good example is the Shamrock and by Cure. They probably had more than 500 people, but not at one time because they were there for 4 hours, so people were ebbing and flowing. So we think of 500 would be the maximum that we'd ever try to reach.
Okay, and then just one more question regarding the the bond monies being utilized for this. How does the city do we get anything from the Home by Dark concerts as far as revenues to the city?
Yes, it's for the Home by Dark concerts. It's simply a rental, just like it is with Shamrock and by Cure. We have a rental rate. We have a rental rate for each day that they use it, plus a fee for trash pickup, and then they have to contact the public safety folks for security.
Would you consider changing that rental fee in the future if this is so successful? I would think.
You know,
I would think these concert providers would make pretty decent revenue from these concerts. So
absolutely. I think
I'm going down the path that if the bond monies we utilized to provide this ability to increase the use of the Home by Dark concerts and have more attendees, which makes sense. It would be nice if the city actually reaped some of the benefits of the revenues from the increased, since we're investing our tax dollars to build this out.
Yeah. So we're looking at all of our fees currently that we're charging across the board, including what we're doing at Union Hill, and we're looking at the possibility of raising it plus like some kind of percentage based on how many people come. You know, if they're selling a ticket, then there may be a fee plus a ticket charge, so that the bigger events bring in more money because they're harder on the park. So.
Any other questions for Director Rogers? Councilman Brady?
Just, if you don't mind, just kind of looking at this. When you're talking about putting in the new spaces, do you eliminate 8, 9, 10, 11, or do you keep 5, 6, 7? I'm just curious of the new design. Does 5, 6, 7 go away?
Yeah, they would go away. So if I may just go ahead and bring that back up, you can see it comes. The key is that connection there, the Greenway connection, that 12-foot wide strip would stay there under this concept where you have 5, 6, and 7. So, and that again is one of the. That's why we can. The estimates are coming in that we would be below budgeted because we don't have to do another connection. That's one of the cost savings there, as well as we would just use what connection is there.
So you've got your cost estimates in place.
I'm sorry.
You got your cost estimates in place. You got your
I'm getting old. I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
Do you have your cost estimates in place? I'm sorry.
No, we have. Jeff Sierra with Public Works has done some very high-level estimating to tell us that we would be under budget here, but over budget here. But we were waiting on direction before we get with the designer and dive in deeper as to what the exact costs are.
Sounds like you have a need for it, and all the other questions were answered. I'd love you to think about doing something cool in that little area there that is not just a flat parking lot. You can add an outdoor experience just there at the same time. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I think there would be some possibilities for some artwork right in there, or some, some benches that could be art and benches at the same time, so we could certainly make that area cool right there.
Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you. As far as landscaping, what are your plans there? If there's money left over, it looks like the existing parking lot has the shade trees and stuff, but we would normally require that of any other applicant, so.
Right. Yeah, we're still gonna do the landscaping. We're still gotta plant the trees. Those two, where those green parts are, there will actually be trees in those. So we'll have a landscaping, and there is landscaping as part of this plan as well. So
Okay.
we haven't gotten those details, but we will make sure that it's not just a huge, we don't want it to look like a parking lot for a, for a discount store, so.
Exactly,
Make sure that it looks
exactly.
nice.
But you have to get it approved first, so I understand.
Right.
All Thank you.
Any other questions for Director Rogers? Do you have clarity, sir?
I think I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Rogers. So that'll wrap up the work session items, and we'll move on to the consent agenda. Consent agenda consists of City Council meeting minutes from the meeting of March 25th, 2024. The alcoholic beverage license application, PH-24-AB-05, or HE01 LLC, DBA The Metropolitan Club, 5895 Windward Parkway, Suite 100, Alpharetta, Georgia. Is there anyone who would like to remove anything from the consent agenda? Seeing none. Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if anyone would like to come forward and speak on the consent agenda, now is your chance. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion by Councilman Hypes, a second by Councilman Will. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve the consent agenda, please vote yes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you tonight is the bid for construction of Windward Parkway improvements. It's associated with the T-Splosh pedestrian bridge projects that we were looking at when we were doing the scope of work. We noticed that there was some erosion issues, and so we are diverting the water from erosion issue and putting it further upstream and doing some alleviation of the discharge as well. The project was designed through Alpharetta Nickel, and we went out for bid and received multiple bids, all within very close to each other except for the top two. And the lowest bidder, Backbone Infrastructure, at $383,506 was the low bid, and they're looking at around a total of 6 bids, excuse me, and looking to be done in about 120 days from the scope of work. We do have some utilities to relocate as part of the work. So this is going to be all alleviating the erosion, more stormwater improvements, and in preparation for the Windward Parkway pedestrian bridges that are be coming out the bid here shortly.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any questions for Director Sisevich? Councilman Will.
Hey, Pete, when we
Yes, sir.
originally were doing the design for this project, did we know we were going to have to do this drainage stuff, or is this something we just figured out?
When we did the scope of the work for the pedestrian bridges, we knew it was part of the overall project, and we had it built into the scope of services with the Windward pedestrian bridges. This project, though, was done sooner, and we got obtained all the right-of-way sooner, so we were separating the projects.
So the 383,000 isn't something we just, it sprung on us. We've known, okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Director Sisevich? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if anyone would like to come forward and speak on drainage improvements, now's your chance. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mayor. Move to approve the contract or award of ITB 24-018 to Backbone Infrastructure LLC for the construction of drainage improvements along Wynwood Parkway with an amount not to exceed $383,506, with authorization for the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
We have a motion by Councilman Drew. We have a second by Mayor Pro Tem Merkel. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve, as outlined by Councilman Dorito, please vote yes. And it does pass unanimously.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you, Pete. We appreciate it. Yeah, don't go anywhere. So the next item will be the invitation to bid, 24-013 Webbridge Park Sanitary Sewer Connection.
Yes, so.
Once again, you have the floor.
Up on the exhibit is a map of the proposed utility line that come through Webbridge Park from the restroom. The current septic system is not working. Oh. There we go.
Little fuzzy.
Focus. All right.
Okay.
So we're starting at the existing restroom facility. Septic system is not working out there. We also tested, it's a septic system, as I said. We tested infiltration. That did not work, so we had to come up with plan B. And instead of digging a trench throughout the whole entire park, tear down all the trees, the team got creative with the help of Prime Engineering, who was a Fulton County on-call firm who's done this before, which is basically installing a 1.5 to 2 inch conduit throughout the park on a force main, and when it was on a grinder pump as well. So go to the system, it grinds it, the pump grinds everything, force feeds it through to a force main, and that ties into a sanitary sewer manhole that's a county manhole on the other side of the street of Webbridge Road. It's a little unconventional. There are subdivisions in the mountains that have this. There's actually one in Canton called Great Sky that has their whole entire subdivision built off of the system due to the topography constraints and the saving of all the specimen trees in this area. So the system is designed and sized to handle additional units to come in. So we have other restroom facilities if we want to go through there, we could tie into it. So this is step one of the artificial turf project. So until this is finished, can we move forward with the bond project of the artificial turf? So we had a design done already. We had multiple bidders come in, unfortunately 2 for this project. Soul Construction was our low bid at $423,732. It should be noted that Soul Construction is working right next to Webbridge Park. They're the ones constructing the roundabout right there. They're the ones doing the sidewalks right there. So they're already on site. So there's a difference of the cost between the 2 firms right there. And looking at, after notice proceed, 60 days to finish the project.
Have any questions for Director Sisevich? I know this has been a long time to figure this one out, but I appreciate it because it's been problematic for quite some time for the poor families that are having to deal with it right now.
Yep.
So, and it'd be great to get that one checked off the bond list as well. So appreciate it. Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if you'd like to come forward and speak on this item, now's your chance. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mayor. Move to approve the contract award for invitation to bid 24-013 to Soul Construction LLC for the construction Webbridge Park sewer connection in an amount not to exceed $423,732, with the authorization of the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
I have a motion by Councilman Dorito. Do we have a second?
Second.
I was going to say that was dead tie. Councilman Dorito was the motion, and Councilman Brady will be the second. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, All those in favor, please vote yes. And it does pass unanimously.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you, sir. Next item up is the purchase approval for public safety vehicles. Director Robinson, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are asking for approval of 15 2024 Chevrolet Tahoes for the cost of $821,490.40 and upfitting cost of $364,570.81. Just as a reminder, we have been talking for months now about moving over to the Chevrolet because of issues regarding orders with our previous vendor. And just as an example, we ordered these back in the fall, and they're on the ground and ready for us to pick up as soon as tomorrow. So we're grateful for that, and looking forward to getting our fleet where it needs to be. This is a budgeted item. It's part of our fleet replacement budget, current budget, and that's all I have.
Any questions from council? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if you'd like to come forward and speak, now's your chance. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of 15 2024 Chevy Tahoes totaling $821,490.40 and the uplifting of these vehicles from Dana Safety Supply, Inc., utilizing the city's competitively procured on-call public safety vehicle uplifting contract with an additional amount of $364,570.81 and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. We have a motion by Councilman Will. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Hypes. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve as outlined by Councilman Will, please vote yes. And it does pass unanimously. Next item up will be the purchase approval for the replacement of uninterrupted power supply. Director Montgomery, now you have the floor.
Good evening, excuse me. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The item tonight is for the replacement of the current UPS or uninterrupted power supply that we have for our data center. This unit sits between the utilities and the generator and our equipment in the room. It powers all of the room, all of the equipment in that room. We're asking for a purchase of the replacement in a total of $64,827, excuse me, and 17 cents. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Adam. As explained to me before, would you explain to the public that this is a continuation of the existing equipment and you're not replacing the entire thing?
That is correct. So the original item was purchased in 2011. We've gotten all the use that we can out of it. Schneider, it's an APC unit, which is owned by Schneider. We have Schneider actually come in and maintain the unit. Their recommendation was to, or their request is to replace it because it's reached the end of life. They will no longer support or do maintenance on it. Not everything in the unit is being replaced here. There are other components that still have useful life. And in fact, at the bottom of the quote, you'll notice they tell us what's coming up here in 2028 that needs to be replaced. An example would be the batteries inside of it will be reused. So we're trying to do this as efficiently as we can. We've, again, gotten 13 years out of this unit. Does that answer your question?
That's important. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bless you. Any other questions for Director Montgomery? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Shapiro.
We have no comment cards, sir.
However, now's your chance if you want to come forward. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask the council to please consider voting for the approval of the purchase of uninterrupted power supply replacements from Southern Computer Warehouse under the State of Georgia Technology Contract in the amount of $64,827.17 with the authorization for the mayor and council.
Have a motion by Councilman Mitchell. Do we have a second? Second. Have a second by Councilman Will. Any discussion, gentlemen? All those in favor of the motion to approve as outlined by Councilman Mitchell, please vote yes. And it does pass unanimously. So the next item up will be the 2024-2025 citywide group medical, dental, vision, disability, and life insurance coverages. Director Harris, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm before you requesting that you approve awarding the city's group medical dental coverage to Cigna, vision coverage to IMED, life and disability coverage to New York Life, and authorize the mayor to execute all documents. This is for the 2024-2025 plan year. And that's another statement I want to make. I want to thank the mayor and council for the great benefits that we provide our employees here in Alpharetta. It's very competitive. We're at the top mark in our medical, health, and our life insurance coverage for our employees. So a big thank you for that. But we started off a little rough on the negotiations because our claims are actually exceeding the amount of premiums we pay them, Cigna, and we looked out and competed them with the other carriers, Anthem, United Healthcare, and Aetna. And we were able to get Cigna to come in once again at a extremely low rate, in my opinion, based on historical trend is about 7% a year. We were able to get them in at 4.9% this year. They started off about 17%. And there's, like I said, the claims are exceeding the actual premiums paid to them. But they want our business, and they don't want to lose our business, so I think we did a good job competing them with our broker. Then I got somewhere here, the trend over the last 4-year average, Alpharetta is at 2.5% 4-year trend. Again, annually, that would be 7%, So I think we did well there. And then the other coverages, there's no increase to the voluntary, to the life insurance and disability insurance, and the dental and vision was all 0%. So that's before you for approval.
Thanks, sir. I just want to congratulate you and your team, because keeping our costs, especially for our employees, below current inflation is pretty impressive. And I know y'all go the extra mile to make sure you take care of our people, and we appreciate it. Anyone have any questions for Director Harris? Thank you, sir.
There are no public comment cards.
However, if you'd like to come forward and talk about the insurance, now's your chance. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the award for plan year 2024 and 2025, the city's group medical and dental coverage to Cigna, vision coverage to IMED, and life and disability coverage to New York Life, and with authorization for the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
I have a motion by Councilman Brady. Do we have a second? Second. Councilman Mitchell has the second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. Councilman Mitchell? And it does pass unanimously, so we'll move on to the next item, which is the Memorandum of Understanding with Lionheart Works and Crabapple Government Center facility usage. Director Rogers?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We were asking consideration for approval of a memorandum of understanding between Lionheart Life Center and the City of Alpharetta for Lionheart Works to continue to rent space within the Crabapple Government Center. We've been renting office space at Crabapple Government Center since 2020 to Lionheart Works. That's a program that helps individuals with special needs over the age of 18 find gainful employment. It has worked really well. That program has been able to expand and be very successful, and we are asking for that contract to be renewed for another year, so that the good work of that committee, of that group, can continue. They pay a $100 per month rent, and there are no expenses to us because they take care of cleaning and all that space they're on. No direct expense. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Do we have any questions for Director Rogers? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if anyone would like to come forward, now is your chance to speak on this item. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion that council approve a memorandum of understanding between Lionheart Life Center and the City of Alpharetta for Lionheart Works to continue to rent space within the Crabapple Government Center and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
A motion by Councilman Hypes, second by Mayor Pro Tem Merkel. Any discussion?
Make a comment.
Councilman Hypes.
Just want to say there's so many things that make Alpharetta special, but this is one of them. I mean, working with Brewable, working with Lionhearts, being great community partners with folks, I think it makes us a stronger community, and I just appreciate when we get these opportunities to step up and do things such as provide space where we don't even need the space, but we can provide space. So, things like this, little things, make us a better community.
Any other discussion? I'll just give a nod to Councilman Hypes. He's absolutely correct, and the people at Lionheart Works do a tremendous job of serving our underserved population in the city of Alpharetta, and we're very grateful for the partnership. So I'm glad they're coming forward with this renewal, and I'll fully support it. So all those in favor of the motion as outlined by Councilman Hypes, please vote yes. And it does pass unanimously. So the next item will be the premises use agreement for Alpharetta First Methodist Church for the 2024 Taste of Alpharetta parking. Director Rogers, you're a busy man tonight.
Yes, we'll keep it rolling. This is a consideration for approval of a premise use agreement between the City of Alpharetta and the Alpharetta First Methodist Church, permitting the use of the Cummins Street parking lot for the 2024 Taste of Alpharetta. This is an annual request that we make. There's no charges for the use of this. This is just simply an agreement that puts in writing that we will make sure that we leave the parking lot as we found it.
Thanks, sir.
Glad to answer any questions you may have.
Does anyone have any questions for Director Rogers on this item?
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Shapiro?
We have no public comment cards for this item, sir.
However, if you want to speak about this agreement, Methodist Church, now's your chance. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, but before I make the motion, I think I'm required by our rules to disclose that I am a board member over at the Alpharetta Methodist Church, and I don't get compensated, but I think if I serve on that board, I'm required to disclose that prior to voting on a matter. And having done so, I make a motion that council approve the premises usage agreement between the City of Alpharetta and Alpharetta Methodist Church, Inc., First Methodist Church, Inc., permitting the use of the Cummings Street parking lot for the 2024 Taste of Alpharetta, and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
I have a motion by Councilman Hypes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Brady. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion as outlined by Councilman Hypes, please vote yes. And it does pass unanimously. So we'll move on to the next item, which is the Memorandum of Understanding with the City of Alpharetta and North Point Mall, the Spotlight Community Stage.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the mayor said, this is a memorandum of understanding between the City of Alpharetta and North Point Mall to turn the old, God, I can't remember the name of the shoe store now. The old shoe store right by, Payless shoe store, into the Alpharetta Spotlight Community Theater stage. This stage would, and I was supposed to plug this in before I started talking, so. The community stage, if approved, would allow for a 150-seat community theater there at the North Point Mall. This is a current facility that we don't have. We don't have a stage that we can do community theater on. So this is a way that we can make sure that judge the interest in this at a relatively low cost. All the equipment that has been bought or will be bought for this particular facility would be movable to another facility if and when we ever had to move from the mall. And there is, North Point Mall is not charging us for the space, but we do have to pay for the utilities and the trash service. We think this is a really good way for us to get into the performing arts area. We anticipate Act One doing some work out there. We anticipate children's theater. We anticipate camps out there, as well as small musical performances throughout the year. Nick Nicolosi with the general manager of North Point Mall is here with us tonight. They've been working really diligently with us as we work through the legal ramifications of this MOU. Both legal teams are happy with the agreement that we have. We are biting at the bit to move forward on this particular program, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that you may have about this MOU.
Any questions for Director Rogers? I think it might have been Famous Footwear.
Famous Footwear.
That's what's in our package.
Okay.
Just happened to notice that. But if we have no other questions for Director Rogers.
I think it was Payless.
Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, sir.
However, if anyone would like to come forward and speak on this item, now's your chance. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that council approve the memorandum of understanding between REEP-RTL, NPM Georgia LLC, doing business as North Point Mall, and the City of Alpharetta for use of the vacant space within North Point Mall for the purpose of an indoor community stage, and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
Second.
Yeah, I want to take a moment just to talk about arts in Alpharetta. Our city does so many things so exceptionally well, and I love seeing that we're making strides in the performing arts and other aspects of arts in Alpharetta. It's certainly an area that's ripe for making great strides as a city, better quality of life, attracting businesses, retaining businesses, just culture in general. And, you know, Act One, to my knowledge, has pretty much outgrown its current premises. You know, for North Point Mall to bring this offer an opportunity forward and throw a lifeline to Act One so that they can continue performing, and we got the Metropolitan Ballet and so many other performing arts within Alpharetta. It just makes us a better, more well-rounded city, and I appreciate council's support for these opportunities that come along to support the arts in Alpharetta.
Councilman Mitchell.
I concur. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion as outlined by Councilman Heights, please vote yes. Otherwise, vote accordingly. And it does pass unanimously. Next item up will be the grant agreement, Arts Alpharetta, and bi-yearly outdoor sculpture exhibit, Art on Loan project. Once again, Mr. Rogers, have some fun.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As everyone is aware, we've had an on-loan sculpture program since 2020. No, excuse me, 2018. That's when we first did the first of those, with the idea that we were going to every year replace those sculptures. And we quickly found out that once trying to replace them every 12 months was just not possible. It was too short of a turnaround. So we went to a 2-year agreement, and what we're asking for tonight is approval for a 2-year agreement with Arts Alpharetta, who will curate the outdoor exhibits for us. The cost of the money that we need to do that is spread over 2 years, so it'll be in the money is already allocated in this fiscal year, and it was being requested for next fiscal year in the 2025 budget. This particular memorandum of understanding with Arts Alpharetta just basically puts on paper that they would curate this, and realizing that if the funds are not allocated in next year's budget, then we won't do the second phase of this. This year, with the current funds that we have in this particular program, we're going to replace the 5 temporary sculptures that we have in the city. And then next year, if that budget is approved, we will put up between 3 and 5 new places, like along the Alpha Loop, that we have spaces for art. We just don't have the art in those spaces yet. And we have Nancy and Murphy with Arts Alpharetta that's here tonight, that if you have any questions, she'd be glad to answer them for you. And of course, I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have as well.
Do we have any questions? Thanks, sir.
Oh. Okay, sorry. I forgot
No,
to show
that's
you.
okay.
I forgot to show the picture of the theater. Got so, I'm sorry.
You had the curtain.
Okay.
Was there more?
Yeah. Can we come back to this after, because this is a separate item. I'd like to show that, the diagram of that to everybody.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Certainly.
Sorry.
Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if you'd like to come forward and speak on this item, now's your chance. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Do I have a motion from council?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask the council to approve the grant agreement between Arts Alpharetta and the bi-yearly outdoor sculpture exhibit / art on loan project in consideration of the approval of the FY 2024-25 bi-yearly agreement between the City of Alpharetta and Arts Alpharetta, and for the curation and installation of public outdoor art sculpture exhibit, and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents.
Have a motion by Councilman Mitchell, a second by Councilman Heights. Any discussion, gentlemen?
I would like to, this has been, it's been a long time, an ongoing process of the public, and I think the more citizens that come to our city, they expect us to have art. And I'll go as far on a bridge as saying the art that we have is of the quality that we can be proud of. Other cities put up art, and it's not exactly curated. And I'm proud of our Arts Alpharetta committee and all the volunteers, and thank you for being here tonight, because it's so important that the art is well representative of our community, and everything we do with excellence. And this art needs to represent fine artists who take pride in their work and who really put forth their best. And so that's why I'm proud to see our art and the new pieces that are curated each year. It's a great compliment to our city, and I think our citizens can all get behind it and really appreciate it even more. Thank you.
Well said. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve the outline for the grant agreement as outlined by Councilman Mitchell, please vote yes, otherwise vote accordingly. And it does pass unanimously. And that wraps up our last business item. So, Director Rogers, if I could, let me do public comment, just to check to see if there's anyone here, and then we'll include yours under reports.
Okay.
Fair enough? Ms. Shapiro, do we have any public comment cards?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
However, if you've been sitting here and have missed your chance, now is your opportunity to come forward and speak. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. Reports. Director.
So this is what the logo of the community stage is going to look like. But I wanted to show you what the stage is actually going to look like and how the seats are going to sit in that particular area. You can see where the food court is and the entrance. There's a dual entrance there on that corner. So the little purple lines or blue lines in the middle are movable walls where we'll have the ticket office out front. So once we get your ticket, you would move into the actual stage area. That's 150 seats. And what's real great about this space is over to the left of the stage. The stage is the little black triangle rectangle in the middle. To the left, we have dressing rooms that have their own restrooms and their own entrances. So this really makes it a stage, and we can actually be able to do some really good performances here, as well as being able to have a pass over behind the stage. So actors and actresses can enter from both sides of the stage, which is always important when you're doing production. So it really is, it's a tight little space, but it is going to, we really think it's going to be a very good addition to our inventory. So I didn't want to not show you that because we're real proud of this. And again, thanks to Nick and the North Point Mall for working with us on this. It's exciting.
It is, and thank you for pointing that out. I've walked by it numerous times, but you really can't appreciate what's been done in there until you get inside it. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Any other reports? Councilman Hypes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since we last met, we've had the opening of the farmers market, and it has been both weekends extremely well attended, and I think people are just really excited for the farmers market to be back. ABA does a great job of putting that on. We also had a ribbon cutting for another piece of art. We had the return of a sculpture right here behind City Hall in Brook Street Park, and we did the ribbon cutting for the return of, it's called The Visitor, and it's been reimagined by an artist from Germany who, a lot of symbolism done in the painting and finishing of that piece of art. So please make sure you check that out when you're on Brook Street Park. And last and by no means least, this is not meant to draw attention to anyone, but we're kind of family up here. And I noticed in an email, somebody's signature up here had changed. And so I went on to the Gerard and Davis website, and it's got a list of our partners. And you will now find as one of the partners at Gerard and Davis, our own city attorney, Molly Eswine. And I can tell you that that can only be the result of tremendous hard work and dedication and long hours and being really good at what you do, because you do not become partner unless you check all those boxes. So we're very thankful to have you, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. You've earned it, and we appreciate it. So, don't believe we have any other reports. I believe we do need an executive session. Mr. Lagerbloom, do you want to?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just tonight, 2 matters of litigation.
Okay. And for that purpose, I'll call for a motion and vote to recess to executive session. Do we have such a motion?
Mayor, motion to recess to executive session.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Dorito, a second by Councilman Will, to recess into executive session. All those in favor, please vote yes. And it is unanimous. We will recess into executive session.
Test 1, 2.
Just let me know when you're ready, James. I'm ready when you are, sir. Okay. I'll go ahead and call for a motion and vote to reconvene the meeting. I have a motion by Councilman Will, second by Mayor Pro Tem Merkel. All those in favor of reconvening, please vote yes. And it's unanimous. We have reconvened. And I'll call for a motion and a vote to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Councilman Mitchell makes a motion to adjourn. Councilman Wills, second. All those in favor, please vote yes. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll close that comment.
Council,
And
I
we
do
are-
have one document for you to sign tonight. It's going to be over there